everybody? Welcome back. It is another beautiful day in the Florida Keys. We are heading out on our 26th World Cat. Got the spear guns in the cabin. Got the pole spear, and the mahi around. So maybe we'll go out offshore. But as of right now, it isn't blowing too hard, and we are ready to have an epic day. Stay tuned, y'all, and see what epic day we have. Woo! We are heading out. Kind of have no expectations. Kind of brought everything, so do everything in case some stuff don't work. So hopefully the visibility is gonna be good. It's kind of been good and bad. It kind of always mixes up, like it could change by day. So we don't know. But see what we can get. Stay tuned. Not bad. Not bad. This is what you call Bahamas water. Holy crap, that is 100 plus maybe. That is absolutely insane. We're in 30 feet of water, and it's like if the water wasn't there. Wow. Let's get suited up and hop in. See you in the water. What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. Like always, I do appreciate every view. I do put a lot of work in them, and hopefully you enjoy as much as I did. This day was a lot of fun, and stay tuned to see what kind of stuff we shoot, and see what we do. So we got all suited up and we hopped in. This is our first spot. I think the sand was around like 45-ish, and rock was a little bit less, like, I don't know, 40. And so I just did a couple first dives, you know, to get water in my wetsuit and kind of get comfortable, and just kind of grunting, trying to attract something, and yeah. So here you can see this is an old zero mackerel carcass, and we don't usually, even though we are on a canal, we don't throw our carcasses in the water just because it just makes the water nasty. We have really little water flow in our canal, so we just put the carcasses in a bucket, and then we just chunk up on the boat. You can see it brings a lot of life. There's a school of ballyhoo, and then there's a school of bonita before that. So we did start bringing the pole spear with us. It kind of, you know, when you got a lot of fish in the cooler, you could use the pole spear, and it's a lot of fun. So right there, down there, my dad shot. He just went down and to check out that coral head or whatever that is, and he looks under it and he sees a really nice mangrove, a pretty nice one. Probably the bigger ones out there. It was 25 inches, and you could see it's completely torn up, and that's why it was under there, and it was hiding. Probably a shark got it, and it was kind of weird. I was trying to hold my spear gun and get the fish at the same time, but I got a hold of it, and it was a nice fish. I brained it, and yeah, definitely one of the bigger fishes, bigger mangies out there. So if you don't have a lot of sharks around, and if you're not and if you know they're not around, you could bleed your fish.
Holy crap. Damn, this thing is actually torn up. It was hiding under there. Probably got attacked by something. 25 incher.
So I hucked back down, and I put my gun on the bottom, just so I don't have to unload it and reload it again. You don't want to get on the boat with a loaded gun. It's a lot of stuff that you don't want can happen. So I just laid it on the ground and just dropped down, kind of, you know, scanning. So that, as you probably see, that's a different gun than mine, and that was actually that gun is older than my oldest brother. That gun is like 25 years old, my dad said, and it still works perfectly fine. And yeah, saw a little lionfish, and that gun's a lot less powerful than mine. So I just grabbed my dad's old gun, and they're a very delicious fish, but you gotta be careful with them, man. You gotta be careful with them. You do not want to get stung by them. It happened to me once. It was like, what was that? Last year. Yeah, that was sometime last year, and he got me straight. One spine got me straight in the thumb. It hurt so bad, like if you were sledging someone with a sledgehammer, and I just couldn't. I turned on the engine, and I just put it under the engine's pier, or whatever you call it. And so you could see now, I dove down, and I started digging up the sand because there was no fish around. Usually it can bring up like muttons and, you know, attract some fish. So I did that, and nothing came. So I moved on, and I saw this mangrove. And the mangroves on the reef are really smart. You could see this one was just like kind of trying to get away from me. And he knew what was going on, so he hid under that ledge. And I just came down and saw his nose poking out. And I got a lucky shot. And what was funny, he had a whole freaking, like, I don't know what it was, but some kind of like little bait or something. He had it, like, it wasn't from us. It was like, it still had like scales on it and stuff. And it was just sitting in his mouth. Like, when I shot him, I just like looked down his mouth, and it was there. It wasn't even swallowed or something. So I dropped down here, and I saw 3 snappers, and one was kind of like hiding under this rock, and you could see 2 of them swimming right there. And I knew there were 3, so I knew that one was still under that rock. And so I kind of just like slowly creep behind it, just kind of waiting for it to pop up somewhere. And I could see his tail there, and I just come up a little behind him so he doesn't see me. And then I just wait for the time and I just give it a shot. I forgot I had 2 bands, so they were pretty strong. So it got stuck in the sand behind it really deep. And before I knew, my dad was down there and already got it out. Alright, I'm gonna start yapping again. So that was a little deeper. You could see my brother when he went down there. The sand was 55, and the rock right there was probably 45. And we had this nice hammerhead right after my first dive. We had this healthy hammerhead, probably a pregnant one, and it was very like interested, and it kept just circling like under our boat, and it was just waiting for something to drop from us, and that thing was really fat, and it was cool how it swam around with its mouth open. So we moved on to the next spot, and I saw right when I hopped in, I loaded up, and I saw these 2 snappers, and they were being very tricky. As you can see, they were putting their back to me, and snappers on the reef always do that, and it's so annoying. But once they get farther, they will like usually turn broadside, and I threw my shot there, and I stayed. It stayed, but barely. Barely, you can see it there.
Not bad. 17-incher. It is stacking up, baby. Phew. Phew.
So I'm already got some fish, so I tried out the pole spear, and it is a pretty big pole spear. I think it's around like 10 feet. So it has some range, better than other pole spears, but you have to be at least 4 feet. At least 4 feet away from it. So I didn't have any footage of me shooting anything. So I hopped back to my gun, and so I dove down. I think I missed at some kind of fish. I don't remember what it was, but I dropped down and I looked under that rock, and you could see a nice black margate. That thing was like 25 inches, and they aren't good eating, so I let it be. But it was cool to see him just chilling there like that. So this spot had a lot of sharks around. I don't know why, but we didn't even throw any carcasses in the water. They just showed up out of nowhere. So I'm pretty sure that's a lemon shark. It was a healthy, nice looking one. It had like 3 remors on him, and he was probably like 7 feet. And then a hammerhead showed up, and he wasn't big. He was probably like, I don't know, like 7 feet. You can see he was getting kind of curious there. I just pull up my gun, and sharks usually will like go away after that. So we moved on because of the sharks. You don't really wanna. We had a bull shark that was there too. So we moved on, and this was really shallow. That's why I was like laughing. This was like 20 feet, and we usually don't dive this shallow because usually there's more fish deeper. But this spot is really nice. It has, you can see like those couple of the queen angel fish. It's a really nice spot. It has a lot of life on it. So I'm here, like I saw a little green turtle. I'm pretty sure it's a green turtle. So if you want to get close to turtle, you want to be really mellow, like kind of like not do any big movements at all. Just kind of like glide in the water. And when you're on the bottom, just like use your hand to stick off or to move. And as you can see, that worked, and he let me get all the way close to him. He wasn't big, he was like 2 feet. And that thing was really friendly. He was beautiful. Really healthy. And amazing. So off in the distance there, you can see another turtle. And it was a lot bigger. It was probably like 4 feet. And he just wasn't having it. He took off like a bird. That thing can go fast. So I grabbed the pole spear and I saw this school of snapper. There was probably, I don't know, like 4 of them there, I think. And so I don't know what, but it was that did not work out. I wasn't close enough, and so I reloaded and I didn't realize that my slip tip was off, and so I put it back on. And so I just kind of keep following him, and he gave me a second chance, and it stuck. And I was happy. It's like, with a pole spear, it's a lot like fly fishing and fishing with like a normal rod and reel. And it's a lot like that. And the reward is a lot bigger with the pole spear when you get the fish. It's so much, like, you're a lot more, like, I guess, proud of yourself, or I don't know how to say it, but with a gun, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like if you kill a deer with a bow and arrow, or if you kill it with a gun. So you can see my brother dropping down, and I have no idea why. I think he was just checking out that big coral head. And so you can see my dad shot off there, and then my brother shots off. So there were two really like pretty nice zeros, like the bigger they get. That was one of the bigger sizes they get. And so my brother kind of threw a Hail Mary at them, and it stuck, but not very well. And sadly it tore off. I was about to get a anchor shot, and wham, complete miss. I'm telling you, a pole spear is very different. And so, hopefully you survived. We do not like leaving damaged fish on the reef. And so my dad was down there, and he saw a snapper, and he took his time and waited for the right shot, and stayed nicely. Well, like I said before, we do not like leaving damaged or injured fish out there. It's it's just. So this nurse shark gave me a nice little ride for like 2 seconds, and then he was like, get off me. So this was a pretty nice snapper. She was probably bigger than 18, and everything looks so much smaller on the reef because everything's like so big. And so he did not give me a shot. If I had a gun, I would probably take a shot, but a pole spear is a pole spear. So here I saw a nice little yellow jack, and he gave me a shot. So yellow jack are pretty good. This one was pretty small, and so but they are very delicious. And so I had a nice little lionfish here. I didn't get the footage of it, but you can imagine shooting a lionfish. It's not that exciting. Oh yeah, is this clip? So I wanted to get a red grouper with a pole spear, and so you can see they're not very smart right there. And wham, dude, complete miss. And so I thought I was gonna get another shot, but he looked, because he's staying kind of around, and then he kind of realized what was going on, and so he started swimming off into a hole, and then just went straight into it, and then he kind of realized what was going on pretty quick. And so I didn't want to push myself too hard, so I'll let my brother get down there, and he saw him right now. He starts seeing him, and then he gets a nice shot. And so right now I'm about to look up, and there was a nurse shark coming straight for me. It's not like he would have done anything, because he realized pretty quickly that I was a lot bigger than him. But it was pretty interesting how fast all that commotion just brought him in. And he was like really interested. He stuck his head in the hole, and he was trying to look for whatever was dying. Oh my gosh, dude. So I don't know if you could see it, but that's a really big mutton, probably like a 28, 29 incher. A really healthy one. And I didn't have a loaded gun, or else I would have got down and got him. But if you don't know muttons, they're very hard to get close to, and my brother had a pole spear. And yeah, so those two don't go too well together. So there were, I don't know what it was, but there were like, I don't know even if it was one or two nurse sharks, but they just kept showing up and like annoying us. So this was a nice little moray eel poking out of his hole. That's a little nice hogfish, probably, I don't know, like 8 inches. We don't shoot hogfish, even if we see like a massive one, like 22 inch or whatever. We do not shoot hogfish. It's because we just stopped seeing them like 3 years ago. We just stopped completely seeing them, and we just, they are good, but we just decided, we'll let them rehabilitate for a little bit. And so and I don't know if you saw it, but that was a tin can there, and we do always pick up trash. It's a nice thing. And I don't know my rays, but whatever that was a pretty nice one. And I was just checking out this cave for any good snack. And you can see a whole clump of rope there. You want to be really careful with that stuff. You could get hooked on it or something. You can see out in the distance there's another ray there. And so this is the start of a black grouper chase. So I don't know if you could see it, but you should be able to see a black grouper. And so I was cleaning off my GoPro, and so I was breathing up for a dive, and my brother, before I knew it, my brother was down there, and you could see that grouper just jotted off. And with grouper, they are a very tricky fish to get close to. They are very smart, probably one of the smarter fish out there. And so what you want to do is when they run, when they swim away from you, like when they're heading out, you want to, I'm gonna explain that later. So here my dad dropped down, and none of us actually saw where he was at. You could see him, he was like, where is he at? And so I think he spots him, and he starts lining up a shot, and he just starts kind of like distancing. And you can see him shoot off there. And then my dad just gets a little bit closer. And he probably had a shot right there. He has a really, really powerful gun, like a really powerful gun. And he just, right there, you can see him completely shoot off. And so I'm gonna finish what I was explaining. So with black grouper, when they're running away from you like this, you want to keep them in that distance where you barely see them, but where you could still easily like get to them if you stop. And once he stops, you wanna completely slow down and dive down to the bottom, 20 feet away from him. And then when you're on the bottom, just slowly come up to him, and maybe you'll get a shot at him. So you can see my brother right there. He drops down, and so the groupers just started moving away right now. And so I started breathing up because I thought my brother was gonna pop back up, and he was still down there. And bam, he shoots throws a nice shot at it. And he got him. They're definitely a nice fish to get.
Got it for a flasher.
So I went for my flasher that I threw at him, kind of just to like distract him from the shooter, whoever it was gonna be. So you could see all that commotion, and that you could see that giant dust cloud. It attracted a couple muttons, and so I stayed around for a little bit, and it actually brought in this snapper. And so apparently somewhere around me here there was supposed to be a black grouper, and my dad thought that I was gonna go after that black grouper, but I didn't see that black grouper. So I went after that snapper, and you can see he was being kind of tricky and just kind of really far away from me, kind of out of range. And then he comes straight up to me, and I probably could have thrown a hair melee right there. And just kind of that terrible shot, and kind of throw out a shot that I thought was going to stick, and I barely nipped him. You could see he kind of like, I got him because you could see how he was acting, but like probably barely nipped the top of him or something. And so when I was going after that snapper, how I was talking about that grouper that was supposed to be somewhere around me, which I didn't see. So my dad dove down after he realized that I was going after that snapper, and he throws a long shot, but he said that he got it in the head somewhere, but that it didn't stick. And so it apparently jotted off into that cave. And so, yeah, it went in that cave because it was injured and it was like, you know, it knew what was going on. So I went back down and I got my dad's old gun and I threw that hole. That was the biggest hole in that entire coral head. I don't even know how he got in there, but somehow he managed to get in there. And you could see his face in there. When you look through that hole, you could see his mouth and eyes. And I was just trying to get him out of there because we hate leaving injured fish around. And but he was definitely gonna survive. It just had a puncture in his somewhere in his meat. And so, pretty sure, yeah, that's a snapper. And some snappers just take off and they don't get like this one's gonna just take off and you won't get closer. But some snapper, they look like they're gonna just take off. But sometimes when they're far enough, they just kind of like turn around and you have to get close to them slowly, and they give you that broadside turn. But this one did the complete opposite and then just like took off. And but it sometimes does pay off chasing him. I was pointing at a little black grouper. So yeah, I was diving for my flasher that I was just throwing around. It was the end of the day, and I just wanted to see if it would attract anything. So I was just throwing it around, and I went down for it and kind of scanning stuff. And this was a nice long dive. I think it ended up being around like 1:30. And what's crazy that this day I ended up having 48 dives logged on my watch. So that, and they were all like deeper than 20 feet. My deepest dive was 55 this day. And so you can see how physically like hard it can be for the body. And that's why you want to give yourself some breaks during the day. And a crazy thing that my brother, he's gotten pretty good at holding his breath. His deepest or longest dive was 2 minutes and 45 seconds at 30 feet of water. So he is not bad. So I was just kind of throwing it under. First time ever shooting a spear gun upside down. I just didn't feel like unloading my bands because they're really hard to pull back. And so yeah, they are getting the boat done. Vance is filling one of the groupers, one of the blacks, and we're filling the rest tomorrow because there's so many fish. I'm gonna pop up a picture of all the fish together and the 25-inch mangrove, and yeah, stay tuned, see what we cook. We got the black grouper here and here. What are you making? Grouper sandwiches. He's cutting the fillets in half, or slicing. I guess you could call it butterflying, because it would take a really long time on the grill. So you just cut it in half like this and leave the end uncut, and then you just open it up. You could do it with steak too, or you usually do it with steak. And yeah, I'm gonna put up a picture of one of the sandwiches, and I think that's it for today. It was a really fun day, and thank you so much for watching. Stay safe on the water. See you in the next one, guys.